Using the heavily doctored propaganda anti-Planned Parenthood videos as an excuse, Bobby Jindal has just announced that he is going to be eliminating Medicaid funding for Planned Parenthood in Louisiana, which means that the two clinics, Planned Parenthood only has 2 clinics in all of Louisiana, a state that has a horrible problem right now with unplanned pregnancy, STDs, HIV specifically, is going to theoretically lose a significant portion of their funding. This is what he said about it, by the way. In recent weeks, it has been shocking to see reports of the alleged activities taking place at Planned Parenthood facilities across the country. Planned Parenthood does not represent the values of the people of Louisiana and shows a fundamental disregard for human life. It has become clear that this is not an organization that is worthy of receiving public assistance from the state. So, according to Bobby Jindal, because of the fetal organ harvesting and research done by Planned Parenthood, they should lose Medicaid funding in Louisiana. Now, none of the reports that I saw on this policy change by Bobby Jindal went into what I felt was a very important fact. Do those 2 Planned Parenthood clinics in Louisiana conduct fetal organ harvesting or research? I called them. They do not. Neither of them does. They don't offer abortion services and they do not participate in fetal organ research. But for some reason, even though that is his explicit rationale for cutting Medicaid funding, doesn't seem to matter that they're not a part of it. And I don't know why none of it, like the LA Times is great, you know, Talking Points Memo is great, all the people who are reporting this is great. Why don't they call the fucking organization and find out if they're taking part in it? I talked to Jewel Bush, the communications manager of Planned Parenthood in Louisiana. She answered it in a minute. It seems relevant. Why doesn't a reporter bring that up to Bobby Jindal the next time he spreads this bullshit?
He wouldn't engage anyway. I mean, you saw people trying.
No, he wouldn't.
You saw people asking him about gun legislation after the shooting in Louisiana. Again, you're just trying to make political hay. Yeah, that's what politics is all about.
And he's doing it again. It's been a week since the last time.
Yeah.
He is a terrible. I am so glad that he doesn't get to sit with the big boys at the debate on Thursday.
Yes.
Anyway, look, as I said, those 2 clinics in Baton Rouge and New Orleans do not offer abortion services or take part in the fetal organ harvesting. But what do they do? What will we be losing out on in those areas if the clinics are shut down? Melissa Flournoy, who's the Planned Parenthood of the Gulf Coast Louisiana State Director, said, last year in Louisiana, Planned Parenthood provided more than 15,000 health care visits. Men and women turned to Planned Parenthood for basic preventive health care, such as life-saving cancer screenings, well-woman exams, birth control, testing and treatment for sexually transmitted infections. More than 4,300 low-income, uninsured women and men were able to access high-quality, affordable health care through the safety net provided by Medicaid funding. They now have 30 days notice that the funding will be eliminated, and we don't know yet exactly what percentage of their funding it will be or what the absolute value will be in terms of dollars, but we do know that nationwide Medicaid represents 75% of Planned Parenthood's government funding. So it is going to be a very significant portion, and the people living in that community are going to lose out. They're not going to lose out on access to abortion or whatever it is that conservatives think they're going to be cleansing by getting rid of those clinics, but they are going to be losing out on cancer screenings, STD information, referrals to hospitals, sexual education, and all of those sorts of things. It is a goddamn shame that Bobby Jindal is probably going to pay no political price for because nobody is going to call him on his bullshit.
What's a goddamn shame is that the Democrats are fucking weak on this. That's what the goddamn shame is. There is no pushback from the Democratic Party on this issue.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, even in the NPR story, they talk about that some Democrats are still wary of this story.
Yeah.
So, again, I can't stress enough to get money out of politics. These weak-kneed motherfuckers, and Democrats are worth a shit.
Yeah. It's pathetic.
It is pathetic.
It has been legal longer than I've been alive, thankfully, to get an abortion in America. There should not be any stigma anymore. Right. If you want to stand up for that as a lawmaker, it has been legal for fucking decades. You should be able to stand up for it. Access to birth control, access to STI screenings and stuff like that. If you can't defend health care access, what the hell can you defend, and why do you deserve our votes?
Where's Bill Gates, George Soros, Bill Clinton? Where's Bill Clinton's initiative to fund Planned Parenthood?
Specifically, that I don't know. I would like it if they would step up.
Why can't they just
there are rich liberals who do donate.
How much money does Planned Parenthood need to run every year? $1 billion? How much do they need?
I don't know.
Isn't there? There's got to be some.
A rich billionaire.
A rich billionaire here, and then we can stop this and we can get health care to poor women.
Yeah, and which, as I pointed out, and I'm sure JR could provide more info if there's time, Louisiana has an absolutely horrible situation right now when it comes to STI infections specifically, HIV rates. It is a tragedy going on there right now, and what they need is more clinics, not defunding of the ones that they already have. So, I know that the areas that are losing the clinics are probably not areas that voted for Bobby Jindal to begin with, but it sucks that they're the ones who are going to have to suffer for him callously taking advantage of this propaganda bullshit over Planned Parenthood right now.
I bet those areas did vote for him, and this is the American Taliban, right? We've got to be afraid of ISIS. You got to be afraid of Muslims. You got to be afraid of that. They're bad. But the American Taliban, we have to fight them constantly. They're dragging us back towards the dark ages, right? And they're right here in America. And those are the people we have a responsibility to fight, because they're the people we have a responsibility to influence, right? Our own government here. As Chomsky tells us, it's our moral responsibility to influence to do something about the government we can influence, and that starts at home, and that starts with the American Taliban. So all these people are, again, focused on a religious organization, ISIS, that has never bombed us, has never done anything to the never done anything to me, except they put a video up. They made Chris Matthews and the rest of the media elite shit their pants. All right, so we have the Taliban, we have ISIS right in America, and there are guys like Bobby Jindal. They're the guys who want to take health care away from women. They want to, guys like Governor Pence, they want to make being a homosexual a criminal. These are the people right here in our own country, and to pretend that the problem is outside is wrong.